Alright, so we're going to take a look at this snow blower, and we're going to see if we can look at the friction wheel or belt or whatever's in here and check the tension on it, because every so often when I'm using this thing, it just loses traction for no real reason, and then I got to kind of rock it back and forth, and then it'll kind of catch. So I'm suspecting we need to look at the belts and either replace them or the friction wheel is glazed up or whatever system this thing uses. So we're going to pull off this bottom panel, which, because of the lighting down here, it's not too easy to see, but this black panel, we're going to pull it off and see what's under there. So go ahead, Scott, and see if we can figure out what size wrench to use. Alright, so we're listening to the guys on 3875 AM, or YAM. See if there's any trouble to be caused, and Scott's pulling this panel off using a 3/8 inch socket wrench, or whatever that thing is called, ratchet wrench. And we'll see what happens when he gets there's 2 bolts on the top and 2 on the bottom. I got one of those red things over here somewhere to put the bolts on, Scott. There you go. Yep. There it is.
Is that what you had on when you were doing my radio?
Yeah. I think there's 2 bolts on the bottom. We'll switch over to 3737 in a little while and see if the guys are on. We gotta ask Wayne when he's gonna get his Flex. He said if Obama was reelected, he'd buy a Flex.
Oh yeah. Do you think he'll stick to his word?
No.
Is there a website that keeps track of that?
Let's look on Friday night, listen to these guys and pull a snowblower apart.
Alright. Here, let me, let's see if you need a hand there.
Yeah,
alright,
hold on. Else. Alright,
we're going to do a quick warning here in case anybody's got a weak stomach. The problem seems to be that we have an old mouse nest in this thing, probably from a few years ago, from my old house when I used to keep this thing down in a shed. But I'm going to take a look in here if we can. I know the lighting isn't the best, but you can see remnants of mouse guts all in here. Can you? There we go. But there's the. It's not. I don't have a strong enough light here. That's the friction wheel, and it's kind of glazed up. So we're going to take a look at that and see if we can do something with it. But we've also got other mouse debris and various problems here. So we're going to clean that out as best we can. And we're definitely going to clean this cover, which is full of junk. Down here, Scott. Yeah. That's your mouse fod there. So, alright, let's see what we can do with this thing without losing our lunch here. Alright, so we wheeled this thing outside for 2 reasons: to keep the mice guts out of my cellar, and also because we're going to now clean the friction wheel here, and we're going to use some brake cleaner. And probably not a good idea to use brake cleaner right next to a wood stove that's going at full bore. So we're going to grab that brake cleaner and clean this off. I'm not going to make Scott do that because I don't want him to get all full of brake cleaner, so I'll go ahead and do that. And we'll also use a little bit of an emery cloth on the friction disc there to kind of remove some of the glazing from it. That should help a little bit. and maybe we'll shoot these chains with a tiny bit of motorcycle chain lube just to keep them wet. But we'll want to make sure we don't get any on the friction wheel here. So we'll go ahead and do that now and see what happens. Alright, so I already squirted some brake cleaner in here, so I'm just got this green scrubby pad, and just going to clean all this glazing off, and then wipe it down with a rag to get the debris out. Spin it. Spin. You have to spin around it. Go. That's the other side. Shoot a little brake cleaner in there. Just a little bit. We don't want to use too much. Get it all over everything. A little bit seems to go a long way. It's quite effective. Removing all that. Let's go. Oh, that stuff stinks.
But when it's tough, huh?
There we go. Last quadrant. All right. Okay, now I think what I'll do is scuff up this wheel a little bit. I'm not going to add any additional brake cleaner. I don't want to dry the rubber out. And the brake cleaner will tend to do that, but I am going to just use this to try and take some of the glazing off. I don't know how effective that's really going to be. I think I'll shoot just a tiny bit on the Scotch pad. All right. Oh yeah, it feels sticky now. That's good. Okay. And that's pretty much, I think, all that's going to be to it. Here, let me see. So, if you want to get your light out again, Scott, you can shine that in there a little bit. You can see we've got most of the black funk off of there, which some of it was from the wheel itself, and some of it was probably some mouse guts burned on there, and that should be good. So I think I'll run up to the garage and get a little chain lube, and then we'll put the belly pan back. Okay, so we're going to use a little motorcycle chain lube here, and a little bit goes a long way. And really, we probably should have put this on first before we went ahead and cleaned everything, but I think we'll just, I think we'll be okay. We can always just rag that off again. But the smart thing would have been to do is lube the chains first. But I guess we weren't thinking. So we're going to do that, and then we'll put the belly pan on and see what... Alright, we got the plate all lined back up. So we're just going to go ahead and put the bolts back on. And I think it's probably time to throw a couple logs in the stove too. What do you think?
Yep.
Well, these guys are all fired up about Obama tonight.
Oh yeah.
What do you think?
I think so. These guys are probably anti-Obama.
Yeah. Alright, we haven't started this thing since last year, so what we're going to do, first off, I think, is make sure that's on. That switch is on.
Choke is on.
Choke is on, yep. And then we're going to prime it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Go ahead and give it a pull.
What's this little switch?
That's the emergency stop switch in case you're... I don't know how you'd get at it if you needed to, but... Oh, yeah, go ahead.
That's half choke, right?
Turn it right off. Turn the choke right off. Alright. See if she takes off. No, this one.
Auger?
You don't need the auger. No auger. Yep, that one, yep. There you go. Alright, so there you have it. It worked okay going up the hill from the cellar stairs up to the driveway here, up to the garage. So we'll see how it does when we actually get a snowstorm. It'll probably, knowing my luck, it'll probably work worse. But for having sat all summer, started with one pull, no problem. But the pull cord's getting a little frayed, so I have a feeling that's going to snap before too long. But I've got the electric start, so I'm not going to fiddle with that right now. It's getting a little bit late, so I think we'll head in and see what kind of trouble we can get into on the radio.